The neighbors called them the perfect couple. Every morning, Daniel would leave for work with a smile, while Emma waved goodbye from the front porch of their beautiful suburban home. They looked happy, stable, untouchable. Their social media pages were filled with expensive dinners, romantic vacations, and anniversary captions that made strangers jealous. To everyone around them, they were proof that true love still existed. But behind closed doors, something had already started to rot. Daniel ignored the signs at first. He wanted to believe that nothing had changed. Relationships become routine after years together. That's what he kept telling himself. Emma became colder, but he blamed stress. She spent more time on her phone, but he blamed work. She started going out more often with friends, but he convinced himself she simply needed freedom. Love can make intelligent people blind, and Daniel was completely blind. Every day, he worked harder to provide a better future for them. He stayed late at the office, took extra shifts, saved money for a larger house they once dreamed about together. He imagined children someday, family dinners, growing old beside the woman he trusted more than anyone else in the world. Meanwhile, Emma was slowly becoming a stranger. The laughter between them disappeared first. Then came the silence during dinner. Then the excuses, endless excuses. "I'm tired. I had a stressful day. You're overthinking again." Those words became normal. But one thing kept bothering Daniel more than anything else: her phone. Emma never used to care where her phone was. Suddenly, it never left her hand. She carried it into the bathroom, slept with it face down beside her pillow. Even when notifications appeared, she would instantly clear them before he could accidentally see the screen. It felt wrong. But every time Daniel tried to ask about it, Emma became defensive. "You don't trust me?" That question always made him feel guilty, and guilt silenced him every single time. Until one night changed everything forever. It was raining heavily outside when Emma finally came home. The clock on the kitchen wall read 1:47 a.m. Daniel had been sitting alone in the dark for almost 2 hours waiting for her. When she walked through the front door, she looked nervous. Not tired, not drunk, nervous. Her makeup was slightly smudged, her hair messy. She avoided eye contact as she quietly placed her phone on the kitchen counter. "I stayed longer with the girls than I planned," she said quickly. Daniel nodded slowly, pretending to believe her. But deep inside, something felt different this time. Something felt wrong. Emma walked upstairs to shower, leaving her phone behind for the first time in months. Then it happened. The screen suddenly lit up. One message appeared across the display, just 6 words. "I already missed last night together." Daniel froze. His heart started pounding so hard it felt painful. For several seconds, he couldn't breathe. His hands trembled as he stared at the glowing screen in the darkness of the kitchen. He wanted to believe there was another explanation. He wanted to believe this wasn't real. But deep down, he already knew. And at that exact moment, the life he thought he had began falling apart piece by piece. Daniel didn't sleep that night. He sat alone in the kitchen until sunrise, staring at the same message over and over again. Every time he read those 6 words, it felt like someone was tightening a knife deeper into his chest. "I already missed last night together." Simple, short, but devastating. Upstairs, Emma slept peacefully, as if nothing had happened, as if their marriage wasn't collapsing beneath them, as if she hadn't just destroyed 7 years of trust with a single notification. Daniel wanted to confront her immediately. He imagined screaming, throwing the phone against the wall, demanding answers. But something stopped him. Fear. Not fear of losing her. That fear was already becoming reality. No, he was afraid of hearing the full truth. Because once the truth is spoken out loud, everything changes forever. The next morning felt unreal. Emma walked downstairs wearing one of his oversized hoodies, smiling casually while making coffee. She kissed him on the cheek and asked if he wanted breakfast. Daniel stared at her in disbelief. How could someone lie so naturally? How could someone betray another person and still smile like everything was normal? "You look tired," she said softly.
"I barely slept," Daniel replied. For a split second, Emma looked nervous, but then she smiled again. "You worry too much." Those 4 words echoed inside his mind for the rest of the day. At work, Daniel couldn't focus. His thoughts kept replaying every strange moment from the past year. The late-night girls' trips, the hidden phone calls, the sudden distance between them, the way Emma stopped looking at him the same way she used to. The signs had always been there. He just refused to see them. That evening, Daniel made a decision. He needed proof, not suspicions, not guesses, proof. Over the next several days, he started paying attention to everything. Emma suddenly began taking longer routes home from work. She laughed at messages while secretly turning her screen away from him. Some nights she claimed she was too exhausted to spend time together, yet stayed awake texting someone until 3 in the morning. And every lie slowly poisoned him from the inside. Then came the moment that shattered what little hope he still had left. Emma forgot her smartwatch at home. Daniel noticed it vibrating on the kitchen table while she was in the shower upstairs. At first, he tried to ignore it. Then another message appeared, and another, and another. His hands slowly reached for the watch. What he saw destroyed him completely. Photos, romantic messages, hotel reservations, private jokes about him. The affair wasn't recent. It had been happening for almost a year. Nearly 12 months of lies, 12 months of fake smiles, 12 months of sleeping beside him while secretly loving someone else. But one message hurt more than all the others combined. "I can't wait until he finally finds out. I'm tired of pretending." Daniel felt physically sick. This wasn't just cheating anymore. Emma wasn't confused. She wasn't guilty. She wasn't trapped. She was mocking him, laughing at him, using him. And suddenly, every memory they shared became corrupted. Their anniversary trips, birthday dinners, family holidays, every moment that once felt special now looked fake. Daniel locked himself in the bathroom and stared at his reflection in the mirror for nearly 10 minutes. He barely recognized himself anymore. The stress had hollowed him out, dark circles under his eyes, exhaustion written across his face. He looked like a man who had spent months drowning without realizing it. At that moment, something inside him changed. The heartbreak slowly transformed into something colder, something dangerous. He stopped crying, stopped questioning himself, stopped hoping the situation could somehow be fixed. Instead, he became calm, terrifyingly calm. Because Daniel finally understood something important. Emma thought she controlled the story, but she had no idea he was already preparing the ending. And what he planned next would destroy the perfect image she spent years building.
After discovering the truth, Daniel changed completely. But Emma didn't notice at first. She was too distracted by her secret life to realize her husband was no longer the same man. He stopped asking questions, stopped arguing, stopped caring when she came home late, and Emma loved it. She thought she had won. The tension inside the house disappeared. Daniel became quiet, distant, controlled. To Emma, it looked like acceptance. But in reality, Daniel had stopped fighting for the marriage. Instead, he started preparing for war. Every night while Emma slept, he gathered evidence, screenshots, hotel bookings, hidden accounts, private messages, and the deeper he looked, the worse it became. There wasn't just one man. There had been several, different lies, different betrayals. But Daniel stayed calm. He wanted Emma comfortable, confident, careless. And slowly, she became exactly that. She smiled while texting at dinner, stayed out later, laughed beside him on the couch, completely unaware that he already knew everything. Then came their wedding anniversary. 7 years together. Emma expected flowers and romance. Instead, Daniel invited close friends and family for a special dinner at home. By 8 p.m., the house was full. Everything looked perfect. Then Daniel stood up. "I just want to say a few words," he said calmly. The room fell silent. Emma smiled proudly at him. Daniel connected his phone to the television, and suddenly the screen filled with messages. Romantic texts, photos, hotel reservations, conversations mocking him behind his back. The entire room froze. Emma's smile vanished instantly. "Daniel, stop," she whispered, but he ignored her. More screenshots appeared, more lies, more secrets. Nobody spoke. "It's not what it looks like." "Really?" Daniel interrupted quietly. For the first time that night, she looked truly afraid. Not guilty, afraid. Because the perfect image she spent years building was collapsing in front of everyone. "You didn't destroy this marriage when you cheated," Daniel said calmly. "You destroyed it the moment you stopped feeling guilty about it." Emma cried, begged, tried to explain, but nobody believed her anymore. That night, Emma lost everything: her marriage, her reputation, and the perfect life she pretended to have. And as Daniel walked away for the last time, he felt nothing anymore, only silence.